associate columnist Joel Mowbray, and Michael Myers, president and executive director of the New York Civil Rights Coalition. Thank you so much. If you got a chance to read the transcripts, there were a couple times where she asked, can I be in front of a female judge, and also asked, is there any way that I can that I can maybe hear this case in a different courtroom, and the judge denied both of them. Do you think her rights are violated?
You don't get to choose your judge. You don't get, if you're a female, you get to choose a female judge. You don't get a male judge if you're a male plaintiff. This was a small claims action. This was not in federal district court. It was no jury present. This was a judge who was the trier of fact and the judge of the law. He should have used good judgment. He should have not read I read the transcript. He was started speculating and second-guessing her about her religious beliefs.
Right.
He should have said, the law says, the source of the law requires you to give me testimony, and that your religious observance, my responsibility is to have the least restrictive means by which to get your testimony without trumping your religious constitutional rights.
So you think
he could have done that. He could have taken the testimony and discounted it if he pleased. If he couldn't take account of her facial gestures in terms of her credibility, he could have discounted the testimony.
What do you think is going on here, Jay?
Bad judgment.
Okay. Look, I don't know if he meant to do religious discrimination, but he did. I mean, you can't. I mean, imagine a Jewish guy walks in and says, "Take off your yarmulke, otherwise I'm not going to let you testify." And this whole idea of, "Oh, I was going to read your face." Every expert in the world knows that that's not reliable, whether you can tell somebody's lying or not lying from whether you can read your face.
She seems like a very nice woman, so I'm not referring to her, but Joel, I mean, when people commit crime, they wear a ski mask, so you can't see them, and that...
that's also so you can't be identified later on. Right. But Kieran, I mean, look, at the end of the day, false analogy, okay, Cenk? It's not the same, because this kippah goes on the back of a head. It's not something that covers the face. What the judge was saying is, I need to gauge your testimony. And by the way, this goes to the very...
Do you think he had a point?
Well, yeah, it goes to the very core of the British and American common law system.
What,
the idea...
faces?
Oh, absolutely. The idea is judges and juries are expected in the course of their duty to make a determination about credibility of witnesses. Remember, many cases turn on
exactly
opposite. No, but many cases, Cenk, let me finish. Wow, he's a talk radio host. He learns how to talk over people.
You don't go into a courtroom to practice your religion. The sole issue here is whether or not the person who comes into the courtroom is disrespected and their constitutional rights of religious liberty is trumped by the judge and denied by the judge.
And
I think the judge used bad judgment, but I do not believe it was religious discrimination.
Look, it's not religious discrimination, and Cenk, I'm going to finish this time before you talk. The fact is, you often have in cases witnesses who say two things that cannot both be true. Okay, so the judge and the juries are expected in the course of their, again, cheap pot shots. Don't need to take them. Don't need to cut me off with them. Look, the judge and the juries have to determine which truth to believe. Enterprise and this woman both probably said very different things about the facts of the case, and the judge has to determine the credibility of each side.
Scooter Libby should have come in and bailed. That might have
helped. This was a small claims court. There's no
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
It's a larger issue also. I mean, and if you read the transcript, he did say some things like, well, I've talked to other Muslims, and that's not really part of your religion. That's a cultural decision.
That's what I meant by speculating, second-guessing her religious beliefs. He didn't have to do that. If he was unsure of the law, he could have had a recess, checked the law, come in and said, this is the law.
There are a lot of people who feel they know a lot about Islam and thus are experts who really aren't. I'm a journalist who writes about this stuff a lot, and I'm nowhere close to being an expert, and I acknowledge that. But, so the judge shouldn't have speculated. But at the end of the day, we have to forego certain rights, even religious rights. For example, this woman has a driver's license. She had to remove the hijab to have her photograph taken for identity purposes, and therefore we know she's already taken off her hijab once for something to drive, so it should be no different with the court. It's the same basic principle. If she were a criminal suspect,
she would take off the veil in order to be mugshot.
I'm aggressively agnostic, so I'm sure that I don't agree with her religious views more than anybody here on the panel, and I think, look, it's maybe offensive to some, but I think the outfit looks ridiculous. I love her, but it looks ridiculous, and I think a lot of religious outfits look ridiculous.
But
it's her right. It's her right. We live in America. If you want to come in and testify, you can't cut her off that way.
All right. Well, lively discussion for sure. Joel Mowbray, Cenk Uygur, and Michael Myers. You guys can continue this about 20 feet away, and I'll come join you at 9:01. Thanks so much, though. It was great. We're out of time, though. Meanwhile, Oscar winner Halle Berry, known for bringing her troubles with men out in the open, she's talked a lot about it, bared her soul.
Because there are reasons why things happen. And you